and then come up. No, you're supposed to look around. You look so serious.
That's how anything's looking.
So, my first battery life test. Now my phone is fully charged, actually. I'm at 100%. I don't know if you guys can see any of that, but at 100%, it's 6:50 p.m. here in Marbella. Very impressed with battery life. Very, very, very impressed with battery life. It lasts for a while. About the same as the S25 Ultra, if not a bit more, which is really cool. It's really good. The S25 Ultra in terms of battery life. Before the update, I did break my phone. Anyways, that's a long story. But on the regular, the S25 Ultra battery life is really, really good. And this, I feel like, just surpassed it by a bit more, because I used my phone during the entire plane ride, whether I was just listening to music or watching a movie with my earbuds connected to them. It was really nice. So battery life is solid. I did do a test with charging, and I am going to be doing another test from 20% to 0 on one of these days. I don't know when. Trying to enjoy my vacation, you know? I remember leaving to Spain on Tuesday, the 23rd of September, with a battery life of 100% to be exact. And I really pushed this thing, like from social media to Apple CarPlay, loading my boarding passes into my phone, sharing them with my girl, which is actually really cool the way you can do this on iOS. I spent a lot of time on my phone as I was just, traveling to Malaga. I think this was a 7-hour flight, if I remember correctly. Pretty sure we left the airport at like 7:30 p.m. and I had my AirPods the entire plane ride within my ears, mainly because I just got them, and well, I'm doing a proper review with them coming out soon, so don't forget to subscribe. FYI, I rocked my Taurus Q3 silicone case the entire trip. You guys keep asking me on Twitter what case this is. Well, that's what it is. And it's a case that, well, I'm using because it has a really solid magnetic force. I watched movies thanks to it, shows, listened to music. By 1:39 a.m. Montreal time, I was at 50%. From the airport to the hotel, I obviously called an Uber. Our Uber pretty much drove us all the way to Marbella from Malaga, of course. And meanwhile that was all happening, I was making sure our reservation was ready. I'm always super jet lagged during these trips, and every time we travel to Europe, we get there early. So often hotels don't let you check in before 2 p.m. but ours did. And I was so freaking happy because I was that tired. By 1:25 p.m. Malaga time, so 7:25 a.m. Montreal time, my phone was at 23%. I drained the battery completely by watching shows, taking some pictures, really just being on the phone. By the end of it all, at like around 4 p.m. I was at 6%, with a screen active time of 6 hours and 17 minutes and a screen idle of 6 hours and 20 minutes. Using all sorts of apps really, but mainly things like Netflix, TikTok, Prime Video, Chrome, Uber, and so on. And then I used my Taurus 67-watt charger, which has this like built-in retractable cable, to charge my phone from that 6% at around 4 p.m, which, by the way, it said it would take about 15 minutes to achieve 80%, but it actually achieved it in 42 minutes. But that's how, ladies and gentlemen, I found myself sitting on this chair at 100%. I charged my phone with this. This is honestly one of the coolest charging bricks ever. It has a built-in cable. Like, come on. And it charged my phone super quickly. And then Taurus sent their case, which is great because I was able to use the MagSafe to connect this to my little dongle on the plane to watch movies. So that's awesome. And now I'm like fully protected, so that's cool. It's funny, as I'm doing this week in the life, I'm also enjoying the earbuds, which is great because I do want to do a review on these earbuds. But anyways, this is my little view right now, which is not bad. It's pretty nice. Look, I spent every day of my trip carefully examining battery life. I remember the second day I took like so many pictures, videos at night in Marbella. Not enjoying the new to me Photos app. I remember at 3:40 p.m. I was at 68%, and then by like 10:13 p.m. at 20%.
And then I remember by day 3 I ran a 20% battery life test right after I spent most of the day with the phone.
The phone went from 100% to 90% during the night. I slept from 2:30 a.m. to about 10. So yeah.
So that was a little always on display test I ran at night. Anyways, that day by 4 p.m. I was already at almost 20%, and I remember I was taking screenshots as my day went by, and that's how I was able to get at 20% by that time. I spent most of the time though using the camera app because, well, we went to see dolphins, and I've never seen dolphins before. I thought it was like the coolest thing ever.
It's been a few days I've been using my iPhone. I'm actually at 23%. It's 5:22. It's Friday 26th, September 26th. I will say I woke up at 8:30 with 100%, and now that it's 5:30, I'm at 20, almost 20%. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna run a 20% battery life test with battery saver on and see how the day goes. I've been using like Google Maps, Get Your Guide or Get Your Tour now. I've been using apps like Chrome, social media, Instagram, Twitter, Uber, things like that. So that's been pretty interesting. Now what I'm gonna do is that, like I said, I'm gonna run a 20% battery life test. I'm gonna keep doing what I've been doing, and then I'll report back to you guys and see how that goes.
Look, I never closed my apps, so these are all the apps I've had open since the start. These were sort of running in the background, so I was going to use my phone with battery lifesaver on for really the rest of the evening, and so that's what I did all the way until 9 p.m.
I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's 9:20 and I'm at 5%. 5%. It's really loud outside because people are partying. We have to wake up at like 5 a.m. in the morning because we're going to Madrid tomorrow, and I'm gonna go watch Atletico against Real Madrid. Anyways, I don't know how long this 5% will last me. Probably not long. Maybe like a 30-minute, because I'm about to start being on my phone until I fall asleep.
I pushed my phone all the way till 1% at 10 p.m. And from 20%, I remember I spent most of my time using Maps, Instagram a bit, checking us in for our next flight to Madrid the next day. I watched YouTube with my girl. Anyways, look, you can see my battery usage as the day went by today, and the camera app along Instagram and Chrome were the top 3 apps I was using the most that day. With a 10% home and lock screen usage and a 3% AOD usage, that's another like 12 hours right there from a 89% battery life, not even 100%. Pretty impressive.
So iOS now has this feature where you can actually share your audio with people, just like on Android. So that's really cool. If you're watching a video, you just go on the control center and you click on your earbuds, and then there's this like little sharing person right there on the top right, where you can connect your friend's earbud, and you guys can watch the same content, listen to the same content. So that's awesome.
My God, it was about time, honestly. A feature Android has had for a while. At least I'm happy to say that the feature works really freaking well. I spent a lot of time watching content with my girl that day as we traveled. And by the way, super happy to say that having a case on this phone is so freaking worth it. No chance I'm traveling with a $1,800 phone and no case. Like, this is the Taurus Q3 silicon case, which makes traveling great. The built-in ring allows me to use my phone as a stand, so it makes consuming content effortless. I was honestly super happy to be traveling with this case that offered a full 3D coverage.
So this morning we landed in Madrid at around 9 a.m. It's currently 1 p.m. and I'm at 51%. Look, I've been taking so many pictures throughout this trip. Any type of photos, really. Some raw, log footage, regular video in 4K, 24 frames per second. It's been great. Now, I've been saving the best for today because, well, I'm going to go watch Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid in about 3 hours. And I'm a bit scared that my phone's not going to last, which is why I'm actually charging my battery pack just in case. So I'm going to be bringing that with me. But I want to have full battery because I'm going to test the shit out of this phone in the stadium. And we're going to like just film a bunch of stuff right there because, well, this is my first La Liga game. I kind of regret not going to see Messi when he was playing for Barcelona. But here we are. And I'm hella excited because the tickets were stupid expensive. Yeah, look at that. The Derby. It's pretty freaking cool. I regretted not getting one when I saw PSG and Man City play when Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe was there. But yeah, yesterday was the craziest day. Honestly, it was the craziest game I've ever been to. And it wasn't my team. I'm still trying to figure out how to get Barcelona to send me through Spotify to their stadium. I don't know, really do something special because that's my team. And when I used to want to be a professional footballer, that's the team I wanted to play for. Every time I'm on a pitch like that, like yesterday, I always wonder, man, what if I would have made it? Like, you know, I really wish till this day I would have made it. But enough about the rant and about me crying and not becoming a professional footballer. Let's talk about the cameras, because these cameras are, they're really freaking good, especially video, man.
Look, I always go back and forth with this, but I think for North America, the camera on the iPhone is the best overall camera you can have. And hear me out, I think it's because it does a bit of everything well, and it's consistent at doing it. Like that evening at the Metropolitano, or honestly, just like during my entire trip, whether it was pictures or videos, I feel like the iPhone just delivers that consistency, and it tries its best to also do it in low light, which I appreciate. I also appreciate how good the camera can keep you steady, right? Like it keeps your footage steady. Like when I was on the boat filming the dolphins, I found it easy to manipulate the camera. You know, as I was in this surrounding, I really was trying to take the best pictures I could. I also really enjoy the lens transition this has. iPhone has, for the most part, consistently been good at that. I also ran a few mic tests as I was recording.
Sound behind the camera. Look at this. It's so freaking nice. I am currently in Malaga. Close to Malaga, actually. Not exactly in Malaga downtown, but it's pretty freaking nice. Look at that.
Plus, I did a video stabilization at 1x as I was walking, and this is what it looks like. And then a video stabilization at 0.5x as I was walking without action mode on. But then I turned on action mode at 0.5x, and you can tell the phone really tries to keep the sensor as steady as possible. And the same thing goes at 1x. So if you want the most like absolute stable footage, I think action mode is definitely worth a try. Between Apple ProRes RAW and HEVC, both at 24 frames per second with a color grade like mine, this is the difference in colors that you can get. I think ProRes RAW looks more cinematic, of course. Some people are way better than us at color grading, so you might even be able to get better footage. I did take an incredible amount of video throughout the trip, in log specifically, because I really wanted to see how much this phone can replace my FX3, and for the most part, I think it does a fantastic job at it, but sometimes things can break. I will admit that. Things can break and they look pretty weird. HEVC though, for video is totally fine. I think most people will be using this. I feel like the iPhone video is better than the S25 Ultra at delivering like that consistent quality no matter where you are or what you're filming. Although when it comes to photos, I think the focal lengths of the S25 Ultra are a lot better. It's cleaner and more consistent, but I will say I do love the 0.5x this has, the 1x, and the 4x it delivers. 8x is also very clean, don't get me wrong, I will give it some love, definitely. I think just overall, okay, all these cameras deliver that Batman look. It's got like that look to its pictures. It's kind of hard to describe, but I really love how the colors and the dynamic range sort of work together to deliver that look that no other phone can mimic, in my opinion. And then the selfie cam, an absolute upgrade, honestly. I am amazed at how good the selfie cam has been. It is miles ahead of the previous iPhones, and you can genuinely see the difference at first glance when you start using this year's models. The only thing I couldn't try during my trip was Apple ProRes RAW HQ, but I did talk about it many days later. After all that camera stuff and transferring a bunch of raw photos into my MacBook to edit them on Lightroom, I realized how freaking slow AirDrop is sometimes when it comes to transferring pro footage. And so I kept running battery life tests until the end of my trip really. I had one more day in Madrid, and while I went around taking more pictures and stuff, just using my phone like I've been using it since the beginning, and also using local send instead of AirDrop, I found it to be a tad faster when it came to transferring huge files. Then I went from Madrid to Malaga again, because essentially we had only visited Marbella at first since it was like 25 minutes away from Malaga, but flying back to Malaga was great. Again, in love with my case. I love that it offers a 4-layer protection for extra grip, shock resistance, and a soft inner lining. The ring in here is a 360 magnetic stand. Your camera bump and screen will be absolutely protected. They also have a bunch of other cases you can choose from in case you want something different. And before I left home, I also added their screen protector. I wanted something anti-reflective for the plane, something that had full 3D coverage, because I'm not risking my phone. Absolutely not. And since I was in sunny Spain, I needed a protector that could actually make my screen clear even under sunlight, with like zero glare and buttery smooth touch. Honestly, throughout my entire trip, I think I had a really good iPhone setup. More specifically when it came to consuming content, because the screen protector really doesn't take away from the new Apple design coating that improves anti-reflection to reduce glare. Then when I landed in Malaga, I spent a lot of time sorting some of my pictures for this video. One thing I need to do is transfer all of it to my Google Photos, because I want to make sure that I keep all my memories in one spot no matter which device I'm using. It usually does it automatically, but sometimes you gotta triple check. Honestly, that was my trip with the iPhone. I'm glad that I had no issues using my phone there, mainly because I do have an eSIM iPhone Pro. So what I did was that I used my local plan there, but I wonder how it would have been if I needed to buy an eSIM.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am going back home. Yes, sir, we're going back home. So today, it's been 2 weeks actually. I've been using the Pro Max as my daily phone. Now I know this is a week in life and so on, but I have like a whole list of stuff I kind of want to talk about, because I've been really able to experience this phone again as someone that's been using Android for a while now as my daily phone. Look, it's 5:30 in the morning because I woke up at 4 a.m. and I went to bed at 8 p.m. I mean, I'm all freaking jet lagged. But today I have a lot of stuff to do. I have to catch up on a lot of work, and then we're gonna talk about this phone as I've been experiencing it for the past 2 weeks. I have a lot to say.
For starters, being back on a MacBook has been nice, although I still use Windows like 90% of the time really. Thursday was packed with things I needed to take care of for all the content we have coming up. A lot of it includes research, which takes a bit of time, and I couldn't do any of it because I was away. And yeah, I mean, my trip to Spain was 100% spent with a case. I think the only exposed portion really was the back of the phone and the front, but I have a screen protector on that. So of course, I mean, the phone as a whole is intact. It's actually in extremely good condition. I did find myself cleaning it a lot towards the camera bump as it gets dusty. And well, at the bottom, right here, that scratch was absolutely my fault. I was trying to take out a case that was impossible to take off, and I used something to pry it. So yeah. Other than that, when it's not dusty, the exposed portion is great. The camera bump has 0 scratches. I mean, the phone looks superb. I really didn't want to take the risk of damaging it, especially after all the tweets I've seen, so I did rock a case with it. The one thing I did find myself actually using on this design is the camera button. I actually used it a lot, but only to activate the camera really. That was about it. I did find that having a case like the Q3 Air would trigger it less by accident as well, so for your information. The other exposed part I forgot to mention was well, the USB-C port, which I think won't age properly. It actually already looks kind of scratched up and scuffed, so yeah. But the speaker grills, there's actually zero dust in here. It looks intact. I'm actually really happy with the way this phone sounds.
I mean, yeah, the speakers are excellent. These speakers are so freaking loud. I absolutely love them. I do want to say, thermals have been great. Actually, they've been absolutely amazing. I really have to give it to Apple this year for thermals. I think my phone got hot like once during the Real Madrid game, and barely, it was like really barely, but I was shooting so much during the derby, and it only got hot like a bit hot, not even hot once. And that's been my thermal experience with the phone. That's it. I mean, it's been honestly incredible in that way, and I really do have to give it to them. But the one thing that honestly is just unacceptable, like I said, is all the scratches that can happen without wearing a case. That does not look good, guys. That's for sure.
And I know a lot of people say on Twitter like, just wear a case. Yeah, that's nice to say, but you know what? Some people like not wearing a case, and I feel like it's their responsibility, I mean Apple, to cater to people like that. And not only that, but it really doesn't seem like it takes much to scratch this phone. So already off the bat, I think it's unacceptable, plain simple. However, I cannot rock a phone without a case. I like having a grip and just making sure phones don't slide out of my pockets that easily, because it happens to me a lot.
And now that I have to post my AirPods TikTok, because yes, I am filming an entire AirPods video. It's gonna come out soon. I have to go to the Files app, and this is my biggest pet peeve, okay, with iOS. The Files app, just plainly, honestly, truthfully, it just sucks compared to what One UI has to offer, just Android in general. It lags, it does weird things, it transfers videos really slow sometimes, and sometimes it does. It's like a whole mess, and I feel like it hasn't changed much ever since I left iOS, which is kind of weird because there's been multiple iterations of iOS. And like, look, I have a custom server, you know, that I can traverse and, you know, just plainly go get my clips wherever I need to get the clips from, you know, and that works fine. It just takes quite a bit of time to load compared to Android, but anyways, it loads like that, and then, you know, I'm not quite sure where my stuff is at the moment, but as you can see, traversing it is quite okay for the most part. But then, okay, when it comes to downloading files, it's just, you know, it's kind of odd the way it works, you know. Like, let's see, I could do copy, then you know, I can go all the way here, maybe in recents here, or browse again, you know, and I go to like on my iPhone, and then yeah, okay, I can put it in here. Maybe I can do here and go into paste right there, bam. So now I'm transferring my footage. Bam. And it's pretty quick. Don't get me wrong. The thing is that now when I go into photos, for example, my god, I cannot type with one hand using this phone. It's like really hard. I can't find my video. Like if I go into the gallery or whatever, you know, if I go into media types and I click on video, my video is not existent. At least on Android, my video will be in the gallery automatically when I download videos from an external server and putting onto my device. But here, it doesn't work like that. So it's a bit of a pain in the ass. Like you actually have to click on the video and then save it. So it's like you're doing 2 steps instead of 1. And it's funny because even at that, it won't live in your videos. It'll live in this folder called saved. Anyway, it's just, you know, iOS doesn't behave like a mini computer, really. It's anyways, I don't want to keep complaining, but you guys get it.
Aside from this, haptics, they kind of do suck on iOS, right? I feel like they need a bit more punch. Like for example, the Pixel, they have great haptics, and there seems to not be a setting within iOS to really tweak the strength, so that sucks. Aside from that, keyboard features are okay, but I do miss the universal clipboard and simple things like, I don't know, select all. Although the cursor on iOS is a lot more accurate and easier to manipulate, that I will say. And apps, I think I forgot how smooth apps are on iOS. I definitely did. They are genuinely a lot more refined, animations are smoother, and things really just flow so well. And this goes with my automation apps within Apple CarPlay, they feel more complete. Not WhatsApp though. WhatsApp on Android is so much better. I hate the fact that I can't back up chats on iOS through Google Drive.
Me, man, I lost my ring because I keep playing with it. I'm so not used to having a ring. No, I can't see where it is. Oh my god, how am I gonna get that? It's right there. How the hell am I gonna get that? Is this flashlight enough? Oh, it's right there. Oh, shit, my finger's stuck. Oh, my f***ing knuckle is stuck. Come on. Oh. I got it. Wow, I really got scared there. I thought my finger was stuck for good. Okay, we are good. Yo, the light app, I actually never realized that, like, the flashlight can do all these things. Like check this out. This is pretty freaking cool. Like, what? It's sick.
Look, what I'm trying to get at is that the app experience is more complete, okay? And I'm mainly talking about apps like productivity apps. Like I said, animations too within certain apps. I find files like PDFs open up quicker. Netflix though is about the same, but I do have to say I haven't experienced any YouTube bugs yet. What I've experienced, however, are AirPods Pro 3 bugs. Not often though, but this is actually the second time this happens to me where my AirPods sort of connect and disconnect repeatedly, non-stop. I actually don't think it's the phone at all, maybe more the AirPods. I know this for a fact because I had to connect my Power Beats to listen to media while I was having breakfast, and it was totally fine.
I don't know if I'm crazy, or if it's my car, but Apple CarPlay looks pixelated on the screen. Let me show you. See, like, can you guys tell it looks like hella pixelated? Like, am I crazy? Look how pixelated that looks. Like on Android Auto is completely fine. I don't know if it's because it's a wireless Apple CarPlay that it looks like this, but I don't know. I'm not having it. I don't know. Like, am I crazy? Like, even the UI doesn't look good. Is it my car? It might be my car. But again, Android Auto looks completely fine in the car. Are you guys having this issue? Because it looks kind of clunky. Anyways, I have to go to my internet service provider because I need internet in the house. I want to start automating a few things slowly but surely. And there's literally another RS6 in front of me in a darker gray. It looks really nice. Funny because I also have to pass by my Audi dealership. I have to take a look at something. I'm working with Audi on another project probably at the beginning of next year. Can't talk much about it. I'm also working with Porsche on a new project, which I can't talk about it as well.
Your content.
Oh yeah.
Freaking awesome.
Thank you so much, bro.
Right now.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yo, honestly, if you guys see me out there, just say hi. It always takes me by surprise because I'm not used to it, but I love talking to you guys. Anyhow, I spent a bit of time at Bell trying to get my internet set up. Meanwhile, the guy was building the package for me. I wanted to show you how much the search sucks. More specifically, for settings. Like if you want to find something like, I don't know, roaming, it doesn't recognize the fact that you want to turn on or off data roaming. Something I needed to do in Spain, like you really need to dig through the settings to find whatever you want, which sucks. I think they need to work on that, but they don't need to work on marketing because according to Bell, my internet service provider and a phone provider, their phones are selling like hotcakes.
Has the iPhone been selling well?
Yeah, so well that it's basically
Back ordered?
out everywhere and it's back ordered.
Really?
Yeah.
The iPhone Pro or the Air, which one's been selling?
The Air, not so much. It's mostly the standard Pro, Pro Max. Those ones are sold.
Well, that was so freaking simple. I just got a text. The technician for my internet is going
on Monday between 8 and 12 to install the internet at the house. I really want to start like setting up the server stuff and connecting some automation devices that I have, like the Ring camera. I wanted to put a Google thermostat, but apparently I can't. And I also have my irrigation system, to sort of connect to the internet and whatnot. But that was really simple. Meanwhile, that was happening. My friends were literally texting me. So check this out. One thing you guys need to understand is that in North America, nobody uses WhatsApp. Like, it's so rare. And so I'm finally back into people's group messages. So yeah, this thing doesn't stop buzzing, but yeah, I kind of miss that, you know. There's so many other things you can do with an iMessage compared to RCS. So yeah. Like, for example, one of those things being able to FaceTime everyone at the same time, which you can't really do on RCS because people don't all have Google accounts, especially if you're talking to someone that has an iPhone.
However, with AirDrop, I feel a bit indifferent. In Madrid, I realized how slow it can be at transferring a lot of files, so I found myself using local send a lot more than what I expected. For a lot of files, I actually found it to transfer faster, except that while I was working on the plane, well, I couldn't use it, so I had to use AirDrop. That's the downside of local send. At the office, however, I don't use either or because I just transfer anything I need to transfer to my local server, and it does it pretty freaking quickly.
My mama always told me I'm allergic to the fake shit. That's why I can look you in your eyes and tell you ain't shit. I'm from the South, you know what I'm talking about. But she could pop it and drop it right in your bank account. I be like, fuck with your hurt, your body's out of control. Pussy wrapped in African gold. St. Jules on my chest, got my foot on your neck. Look, I don't play by mine, fuck what you say about me.
So, I know a lot of you guys wonder, I feel like I should make a video about this, but the cars, for me, they pay themselves off in a way that, you know, I'm addicted to cars. I've always told myself, if I'm gonna buy some cars, they need to make sense. I don't want to lose money on them. I don't want to be stupid. You're not gonna pay taxes on that, and it just sometimes cars don't make sense. So how do I make cars sort of pay themselves off? Well, I bought the cars thinking maybe if I buy the cars, I will be able to work with some of the automotive companies that will see that I like cars, and maybe some of those brands that I'm buying will work with us. So that's what happened throughout the past 4 or 5 years. We get reached out by automotive companies. You know, ever since I bought the RS3, things just picked up with cars, and I'm really, really happy, and that includes Porsche. So I'm possibly signing another deal with Porsche, and a lot of it has to do with production, whether it's for YouTube, for themselves, for their website, or Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter even. We make content for Porsche Germany, and that's really fun because we get paid, and that means that I get to take that money and put it back into the GT3 to make sure that this investment is sort of paying itself off. So the cars sort of pay themselves off, and I get to also drive them personally, and I claim part of them personally, and I just, you know, roll the ball like that, and I play the game with the cars in that way. So I'm just literally waiting for my son to come out so I can take some quick pictures. But yeah, this is my baby. The car I want to keep for a very long time, unless I'm offered something in the realm of what's coming up next for this GT3, like, I don't know, a speedster or something like that, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. I hope you guys can hear me because I'm literally next to the highway. It's currently 7 a.m. Battery's at 5%, believe it or not. And honestly, I don't remember at what battery life I woke up yesterday, but I think it was at around 85%. Mind you, last night I thought my phone was gonna die, so I charged it from 17 to 21%, and then I'm like, you know what? Let it roll. Let's see if it lasts. And it's been lasting. I'm at freaking 5%, 7 a.m. I think ever since I brought the phone to Spain, I like trained the battery life like crazy because, man, this has been lasting for quite a lot. And I'm really, really happy with the battery life. That's for freaking sure. So honestly, the trick with pictures is that you gotta know how to shape light. Like this here, for example, it looks really, really good. Phone's about to die, by the way, but yeah, you know, you gotta just know how to shape
light and how to place the object. Like right now, for example, I feel like the Porsche could be looking at me instead of being placed like that. So I'd have to rotate it and maybe even like place it over there with the sun. It would be nicer. But yeah, that's the trick. Just know how to shape light. Here we are at 1%. 1%. Anyways, today's Friday. I have about 3 phones to film, believe it or not. I'm like obsessed with phones now that I'm like more fluent in Android, I guess, if you guys want to call it that. But I have a TCL phone I want to film, a new Oppo phone, and a Xiaomi phone, which is the first time I actually get my hands on a Xiaomi phone. I've been dying to try one. So I have like 3 phones to film and stuff. Very, very interesting. I'm really excited. Yeah, freaking love phones. Things you don't get to see. Voiceovers, doing emails, research, editing videos, planning my entire week, getting products and testing them. More products to test, making sure the office is not a mess all the time. Finances, maintenance on the cars, more products that we gotta test, do research, make sure they work well, making sure the cameras, everything is all good to go all the time, the server is up, making sure the drones work, and wherever we travel, make sure we got licenses for it, receipts all the freaking time. And to be completely honest with you guys, it all depends how you want to treat a YouTube channel. Like if you want to treat it as a business, if you want to treat it as a hobby, if you want to treat it as, I don't know, whatever you want to treat it as. It all depends on what you want to do with the channel. Like I love filming, I love cars, I absolutely love tech. So I wanted to treat the channel as a business, a media production thing, because I love filming. And so I take it seriously. I make sure that the reviews are good, that the information is accurate. I make mistakes like I did last week with the freaking iPad Air. I'm an idiot, but it's just so much has been going on anyways. That's not an excuse, but I'm just saying, right? It depends on how and where do you want your channel to go. For me, it's a business, it's my life. I absolutely love doing this. I learned the hard way that if you just rely on talent and you don't do anything about it, things go away. And I don't want that to happen with a YouTube channel. So I work my ass off. Yep, I work a lot. I wish I could strap a GoPro on me and show you what I do 24/7, but a lot of the times it's just not possible. Aside from shooting the AirPods that morning, I decided to use my Tora's 67-watt charger to run another charging test. I started to charge my phone at around 8 a.m. from a 1% charge using the built-in cable the charger has, and while filming some other content for AirPods, doing a battery test for that as well, filming and unboxing the next phone I want to review in a couple of weeks, as well as taking care of the new office we are building, plus scripting some videos, I actually used the FlexiLine's dual ports to charge both my phone and AirPods at the same time. And my Taurus charger charged my iPhone completely in about an hour and 21 minutes. And do note that this is a 67-watt charger, right? By the way, do stay tuned because I have a whole AirPods video coming out. I've been doing lots of tests and hopefully I'll be able to answer all your questions in that video. So don't forget to subscribe and enable your notifications. Something I actually like about the new iOS with Apple Intelligence because it summarizes texts for you, and that's quite cool. With that text, well, yeah, I had to go to the house.
Long way from home, keep checking my phone, but the chances that you would call are slim to none. This ain't a bad thing. We agreed upon a date, but until I sit here and think about what I say, all that I'll do.
There are still so many little details to fix that I don't want to show you guys because I'm gonna have a heart attack because I'm such a perfectionist. Everything needs to be perfect and it just pisses me off. If you guys would see me film and edit the videos, I think you guys would have a heart attack.
I think it took us like 4 hours to film, edit, script, just the reveal of the house video.
At the house, I remember FaceTiming my girl. I usually WhatsApp her, but now I guess, well, I can FaceTime her. And while doing so, I realized that I can actually zoom into the screen, like just like if I was using the camera app. I don't know if that's always been the case, but it's pretty cool. I don't know, I feel like I've been away from iOS for way too long, so yeah. The only one thing I've realized when changing tracks, there's a bit of a delay actually compared to Android. Like Android is pretty freaking instant. And on Apple CarPlay right now, there's a bit of a delay. Like it takes about 2 seconds for the track to change when you press the button. It happens on the R6, it happens on this car, so I'm guessing it might happen in other cars. Yo, look at the brightness outside. Oh my god, is this phone bright under the sun. I love it. I also saw the new Aston Martin Vanquish. I really wish the phone would focus quicker, better, because I couldn't take the shot. It's blurred. I find that every time I take my camera out, I need to make sure that the photos are in focus, or else this happens.
So what I would do is
Look, I work every Sunday usually. I try to make a short in order to compare my FX3 to the iPhone camera, more specifically in log, and more specifically after discovering the Final Cut camera app. I think I might be going through a little bug because I'm currently so I'm using the Final Cut camera app, and I'm recording in ProRes RAW HQ. Now, for me to even be able to enable that setting, I had to connect this external drive, which apparently is not fast enough, and I'm pretty sure it's because of the cable, but anyways. So I had to disconnect it, and I disconnected it, and I was gonna go get another drive, but now it lets me record with this internal storage. I'm so confused. What the hell happened? Anyways, it's working with internal storage. I think I just bypassed it. Anyways, I did spend a bit of time with it. Look, essentially you can either use the native camera app to film in ProRes RAW. It's super easy to enable. You don't need another storage, just know that the files are huge. Or you can use the Final Cut camera app that will basically allow you to film in ProRes RAW HQ. And ProRes RAW HQ means a higher bitrate, larger files, so more data preserved. It should make your videos technically look even better, really, but they are huge. I think a simple 15-second video will run you like 3 gigabytes. I am going to keep this short and sweet. I'm switching to the iPhone Air, like today or tomorrow. Listen, the phone is absolutely great at battery life. Thermals are amazing. The camera is slightly better than last year, but the front-facing camera really is like the kicker. It's absolutely great. The thing that impressed me the most, honestly, with this phone, which would be the only reason I would buy a Pro Max, believe it or not, is the battery life. Battery life is ridiculous. It lasts for a long time while you're doing a bunch of stuff, and during my trip I was not scared that my battery was gonna dissipate. It was just so good. I've never had a phone with such incredible battery life, in my opinion. iOS, man, oh my god, is it a pain. iOS is just so weird. Now coming from Android, I totally get One UI and Android people really just going back, or the files or the search completely sucks. It's just, I'm not a fan of iOS. But other than that, guys, this is a solid phone. And like I said, if you want the cameras, if you want that battery life, and the thermals are really good. The phone was super not hot. I really enjoyed it. Honestly, I enjoyed my experience with this phone, except for iOS. Even though iOS does some really good things, especially with the ecosystem. It's fun, it's cool, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? So that's my 2 cents with this phone, having spent almost 3 weeks actually with it. I'm going to the iPhone Air, and then I'm gonna have a really good comparison with those two phones, and I can talk about both worlds, and maybe what's good for you and maybe what's not good for you. Anyways, don't forget that this video is sponsored by Taurus. I actually really like this case. If you guys want to get it, don't forget, I'll leave some links down below, and I will chill out for a bit and then start filming the iPhone. I hope you guys have a good weekend. Take care.